Hey, hi, how are you doing? Today I'm going to talk about the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I hope you are doing okay. Maybe will I get to these? Who knows? I would love to get through these. Some of these are kind of old and some of these are kind of not. I know it's February and almost by the time you see this video, so I will hopefully have read some more of these, but I will give you an update right now of which ones I've actually read. So right here that you see these books, there's books behind it right here. Those don't count because those are my partner's books, because maybe he'll read them. And then these books right here are some of the ones that we're going to go through today. And honestly, these are all the books I have. The ones up here are the ones that I've already read. 3 of these books deserve to be up there right now. I just wanted to use them. So the first book that I would like to read in 2025, and I actually have read, is Dreadful by Caitlin Rizalkis. I really enjoyed this book. My January roundup actually is talking about this book. I don't know if I want to make a separate video on spoilers because there's some books that I would love to just yap about, and if you're interested in it, or maybe I'll just do it because it's a form of therapy for me to talk on here. The second book that I have read off of my physical books is The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. This was pretty good. So far, none of these books have gotten less than 4 stars. This was a really fun read. I'm really excited that I tried it. This was my first 5-star physical book I have, and this is better than The Movies by Lynn Painter. Very good book. Very, very good. The book that's right here is the book I'm actively reading. So it's this book right here. I am roughly 26% done with this book. I have really enjoyed it so far. I did get a little confused here within one chapter, but then after a couple pages I reread it again, and I was like, oh wait, this makes sense. But so far I really have enjoyed it. This is a hardcover book. I got it 50% off, so that's why I have it. And luckily, because it's so little, like it's only like 290 something pages, it doesn't feel too gross to hold, but I do have hand pain at night trying to read this. But and let's move on to the next books. Also, let's put these over here just so I don't confuse them. So could I actually get all of them on here? Well, the next book that I actually, I'm gonna turn this way. Okay. The next book that I am actually gonna read after I finish The Night We Lost Him is actually this guy right here. It is a beautiful, beautiful copy. Very, very beautiful. This one gets a pass when it comes to big books that are hardcover. Hi, Ube. If you hear any sniffling or see any nose whiskers, that is my cat. But this is a Warhammer book that I bought during one of their sales, and it's by Dan Abnett, I think. It is the 67th of 2000 copy of this book. And it basically talks about this army. It's called Daria. I think that's what it is, but it's for the 40k Warhammer universe. It has roughly about a couple books in it. It's like 300 pages, but I've been wanting to read a Warhammer book because I don't play because, well, actually I played 3 times, but I wouldn't count it as actual playing. But I have a couple armies. One of my armies was broken by a little monster who's up here. It's my cat. But I am kind of excited to kind of deep dive into the Warhammer universe and to learn about their lore, because every time I watch a YouTube video on it, I end up really enjoying it. So this is going to be my next read after the last hardcover that I just showed you. And then let's start with some of the other books I have. So this pile of books, I've actually had these books for a while. I picked these books up and I started to read them, and then I put them down for miscellaneous reasons. Maybe I went on a trip, or I moved, or I don't know, maybe I was reading it at the pool and I put it in my bag and I threw it in a room and I just never opened up the bag again, so that I never read it again. But I have all my books on this now, so they should be here. Other than the ones I left at home, because they were also my parents' books. But here is my next book that I would like to read this year. And it is an autobiography, I think, and it's called Where the Past Begins by Amy Tan. I got roughly 50 pages in, and then I put this in my tote bag that had like a bunch of like weird little trinkets I brought to the pool so I wouldn't get bored. And I never opened up the bag until we moved out of not that apartment but the next apartment, and I finally opened it up and I found it and I put it on my bookshelf. So hopefully I can finish this one next time. And these I'm sprinkling in with some of the new books I bought that we're going to go into in a second. The next book, this was my old job. I brought this book to my old job, and it was like, if we're ever not doing anything, like the internet goes out. So it was always really awkward, so I always had a book just in case. And this is The Witches by Stacy Schiff. I think it's, yeah, Stacy Schiff. And I love learning about the Salem witch trials. And that is Ube playing with a ball. But I love learning about the Salem witch trials. I love watching shows based on it. I love reading and learning about it, and even documentaries about it. And I think I roughly got 18 pages in because I was reading it at work. And I never took it back to my next job. And you can tell how many times we had to stop working. And then we have the next book. This is The Alienist by Caleb Carr. And it's right here. This, I got roughly about 12 pages in. And this is a first-rate tale of crime and punishment that will keep readers guessing into the very end. Like, that's a little snippet about it. It's supposed to be it was first published in 1994, and it spent 6 months on the New York Times bestseller. And it's very interesting because it's set during the Gilded Age and it's fast-paced. I got 12 pages, and I think the reason why I stopped reading this is because this used to be my old oil change book, and I lost it in my car until I finally opened up a bag and it was there again. So I think there's a recurring thing right now. And so here is the next book. This is Severance by Ling Ma. This one, I got 14 pages in. And this one I actually took with me on a work trip. I got 14 pages in, and then I realized that I had no time to read because I literally would get up, go physically work, and then come back to the hotel room and physically work and type work the rest of the day. And so because of that, I never finished reading it, because even on the plane I was working. So that's why I never finished this one. And so hopefully I can, read that. And the next book that I haven't finished, this is Barack Obama's A Promised Land. This I was reading during the pandemic, and then I got a job, and I worked like 12-hour days, and so I stopped reading it. But this one I got roughly 273 pages in. It's roughly 700 pages long, and this is 273 pages. So I've gotten a good chunk of there, but not all the way. But yeah, I was reading this during the pandemic. I really enjoyed it. I think I got that job and I just never picked it back up. And then that's when I found out I don't like hardcovers because it's just so, this is a really heavy book. And I get it because it's the president's book, so it's like more massive. But hardcover, I think, are they're really heavy books. Like right now I want to drop it. But yeah. Oh, and that's what it looks like on the back.
But so far, he's like really well spoken. I have really enjoyed the book. So let's get into our next one. Here's my next stack. So the next book after, so this book actually will go after the Warhammer book that I showed you. I just wanted to go through the books that I already owned before this, but this is the next book that I'm going to read after the Warhammer book. This is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This one I also got because I was given this suggestion. I was given this suggestion from a YouTuber, Haley Pham. I think I said her last video. I just realized what her name is. I think it's Pham. But this one, it's a love story. I love how it, I don't know, I really love that, especially since I just like, but it's like a love story. It also has a quote from Abby Jimenez, a bingeable 5-star read. I fell in love with Just for the Summer, and so I trust her. So to read this, it's a short read. It'll be really good after reading a couple sciencey books, or science fiction or fantasy books. I don't know what Warhammer would be classified. I guess it's fantasy because it's the 40k world, so. But after that, the next book that I will be reading is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I heard this is getting a movie, and so I might switch around how I read my books to read this one a little earlier so I can watch it as a movie. I don't know when the movie's coming out, but I would love to have watched it. It's a kind of chunky book, but I'm really excited. The next book is Wolf Song by TJ Klune, and it's this one right here. And I've already read roughly about 2 books by TJ Klune, Under the Whispering Door and The House in the Cerulean Sea, and so I really liked his writing. I really appreciate it, and so I picked this one up because maybe I'll like it too. And I really like the edges on it. It's really cute, and I'm excited because I fell in love with those 2 books. They were 5-star reads for me, so because of that, as long as these are 4 stars or even 3.5 stars, I think they're going to be great. Like, for me, 3 stars are still likable books. They're just not like perfect, but I watch Christmas movies and those aren't perfect either. The next book that I will be reading after that would be Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. And I got this edition. This is one I got from Barnes & Noble, and I really like the ends, if you can see that. But yeah, I really like it. It looks really cool. And I remember this was a retelling of an older book. This one I just got from my boyfriend, this one and this other one, and maybe I'll show you the one that is on there. I think it's over there, but they're all half-price bookstore books. But I'm reading Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I've heard such good things about this by the people who have started watching on YouTube, and I've always wanted to read it because of that. Next book after that is by Mario Alberto Zambrano, and it's called Loteria. And I love the concept of this book. Let's see. So it has a Loteria card. If you're not Hispanic, Loteria is basically kind of like a bingo that you play, and there's just different cards that would get brought up as you're playing, and you would play with like beans or pennies or anything you can find, and that's what it is. And my favorite is La Escalera. Sorry, I have to. It's the meme. But this is a story that Mario writes about a 11-year-old Luz Maria Castillo who's struggling to cope with her family falling apart. And so because of that, she is telling her story through the use of Loteria cards. The next book after that is Shogun Part 1 by James Clavell. This is a really old book, I heard. But it just recently turned into a show, and the show's really good, I've heard. And so I'm really excited to read this because I want to read this before watching the show, and so I'm excited. Oh, actually, this is my last stack. Let's go. Ooh.
here is my last stack. This is the last book that I got from Half Price Bookstore. My boyfriend got it for me. But it is the To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. It's on the classics. I want to read through a bunch of classics that I handpicked and put into my reading journal. And this is the first one I'm picking out. And so I'm really excited to read it. She's supposed to be a good author, so very excited. My next read, a lot of people have already read it, but this will be the first book of hers that I'm going to read. I do have another book of hers that I pre-ordered for paper book, and I think it's Funny Story. I think it's that one, I don't know. But it is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Get the same energy from Emily Henry that I got from Abby Jimenez, so I feel like I should maybe like her work. And like I said, I've been watching Haley Pham, and she really likes her, but she also liked the Just for the Summer book. So I feel like I'll like it, and it's a lot for me to expect that when I already also ordered the other one, but I'm excited. I'm gonna give it a try. Also, I keep saying I'm gonna read, but I hope I can get through these all. If not, I will take these into 2026. But the next book is one I picked up at Target, like in December. And it's called Stephen King's, everyone knows this, Stephen King's The Shining. I love the movie. Actually, I like Dr. Sleep more, I'm not gonna lie, but the movie is iconic, the visuals, everything is so beautiful. And I have read a couple of Stephen King's other work, and I've been terrified by other Stephen King movies. And so I'm really excited to pick up one of his books and read it. It was a Christmas gift, and it is Wayward by Amelia Hart. I don't know anything about it. I was given it for Christmas, and I am very excited to read it. It looks really cool. So the next book that I got is one that I got for 50% off. It's called Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This is what it looks like. I'm really excited to read this one because the idea, it's kind of spooky. It's the idea of like one of the kids goes missing in the middle of the night, comes back eventually, and there's just weird occurrences happening in the middle of the night. The next book is a book that I bought years ago and I refused to read, and I'm finally going to read it. It's called The Body Keeps Score, and it's by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. But I'm excited to read it. And this book is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I think I read this years ago, and I don't remember anything about it because I read it in high school. I think it was, I don't know, man. And this is the final book. I think it's book 24 or 25 because I don't think I have all 25. And it is In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. And this one is a hardcover because it was 50% off, and I like a deal. But this is the book. And this one is a real boy and his wooden heart, no strings attached. So In the Lives of Puppet is a powerful story of humanity and what survives after we're gone, an enchanting tale of Pinocchio in the end times. I don't know, man, that sounds interesting. I like the premises that TJ Klune does, so I'm excited to read this and hopefully I like it. So these are all the books that I hope I can read for the year of 2025. These are 25 books that I have on my physical TBR. Will I read all of them? Who knows? I really hope I will, but if I don't, I will for sure get to them come next year, since some of these are books that I put down and then now I'm reading them again, or trying to get through them now again. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and maybe you got a book recommendation out of this, or you saw something that was interesting, or maybe you saw that I'm going to read a book that you're going to read, so now we can talk about it. So yeah, I can't wait to read these books, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.